I think it's safe for me to presume that every one of us fellow Infinitors have been in the same emotional territory all day, and that's eager anticipation. Just awaiting a few mere hours to pass by so Thursday can become Friday, and with it, bring all 8 remaining pieces from Chapter 3 Downfall from Ad Infinitum. Again, as I said, we've all, I'm sure, been awaiting this. Probably just as much as you have. Because it's been great thus far of Chapter 3. We've had a wonderful journey and a beautiful sensation of craft from all 4 of the previous singles, Upside Down, Somewhere Better, Seth, and From the Ashes. So why not complete the ride? I promised you I would. I told you as of Seth it was my intention to complete, and I don't often do this in terms of full album spotlights. I consult a wide pool of artists on this channel, so I try and be a bit democratic in all the talent that I produce and provide enough accommodation and timing so I can cover everybody. But for a talent like Ad Infinitum, and I said this as my reasoning with Chapters 1 and 2, which many of you know who took this journey with me, and by comparison to a number of you Infinitors, I'm sure many of you would probably describe me still as a burgeoning Infinitor. You advance me in years, I know. But it doesn't mean you can't become a fan late. And I'll tell you, ever since I started with Chapter 1, and I worked my way through Chapter 2, as well as some of their other pieces, and again, those of you who've taken this journey with me can attest to that. It's been an intoxicating ride to consult them, and I've developed, sometimes addiction spoken of in a negative context, I consider it a positive with Ad Infinitum. I've so enjoyed exploring their gifts, and they really are a talented group. Like many in the European metal scene, I've said that as much, and my introduction to them, I took it on faith in the beginning, as many of you know. It was on Melissa Bonney that I first engaged with them. It was to her credits for the Mortemia collaboration, Devastation Bound, which if you've never heard Mortemia, Morten Veland from Sirenia, his one-man project, love the guy. And Devastation Bound is one of his best pieces. And he's got a whole litany of them, but Melissa Bonney's talents really spoke to me in terms of her vocal capabilities, and I bought everything at the time of what was available, and that was when Somewhere Better had just released. At that point, I bought everything on faith, and I've been satisfied ever since. And with Chapter 1 and 2, as I said, I had a great time. But the experience for me, in part, was, and this was my reasoning for why I'm consulting Chapter 3 in full, besides Ad Infinitum being such a great talent, it was unfulfilled in that, yes, every piece I've loved, on several repeat listens. I couldn't even give you a number at this point. I've listened to them religiously, all the time now. But there's something that I love with music, especially in bringing it into a prominent presence on this channel, which, as many of you know, I've been trying to manifest that goal for many years. It's been a long-time aspiration of mine since the foundation of this channel many years ago. And over 2023, that's evolving quite well in terms of my satisfied ambition. I love how music, again, very much a first love in my life, can be a collaborative enjoyment. And with Chapters 1 and 2, I missed that opportunity when I consulted every piece, because I went by the music videos in terms of getting a good range of perspective, but I didn't consult every piece on here for a first initial listen. And there are many pieces that I wish I'd been able to provide that. So I said of Ad Infinitum, with Chapter 3, I'm not going to miss that opportunity because I learned from my mistakes. And I'm here to engage with you for what's going to be quite a fun party for Chapter 3, I'm absolutely sure. And I do consider myself lucky, though I don't always speak highly of where I live, though we're all getting this album debut at the same time. Given time zones, technically I'm getting this about 3 hours early. Pacific Standard Time puts us at 9 p.m., and that's immediately when I got the notification on my phone of your pre-orders ready for download, and I clicked it immediately. So we're going to start this party maybe a little earlier than when I planned, which was on Friday, which will be nice because it means I can get these videos up faster and we can have a faster enjoyment experience together. And we're going to take a bit of a different order with Chapter 3, given that the first track on the album, and that's Eternal Reigns, the video debuts tomorrow morning. So I'll look at that one because I'm planning to consult what we have, with exception to that, tonight. I will look at that tomorrow morning, so we're going to look at that track last. And I have a feeling my strategy in that is actually kind of good and satisfactory of a track. We'll see. But we're going to start here with track number 6, I believe. So again, I've consulted the previous 4 works if you're not familiar. All right, maybe you've not consulted my work before, and this is the first introduction to me not only covering Ad Infinitum, but perhaps for some of you my work, period. I'm sure we'll have a fun experience. Maybe even Ad Infinitum as well. Maybe some of you are not necessarily familiarized with that name yet. Maybe you've heard of it, but you've never engaged with them. I will speak on faith. Again, you're going to love them. Go consult their entire back catalog. Take it from me. I've had a wonderful experience. and you will thank me for it. As you probably will for, any recommendations I provide, especially among the European metal line. I'm telling you, that scene of the world is great. As a metalhead, I am more than satisfied if every artist, in fact, I've given a first consultation to, there's not been an artist on this channel that I've not liked. And with Ad Infinitum, it's been a wonderful journey. So I'm sure with the Underworld, you're going to love this, because that's the track we're going on, number 6. Again, I've consulted the previous 4 with exception to Eternal Reigns, and we'll get to that one tomorrow morning, but for you, probably the same day. I'm going to try and have these up as fast as possible in terms of editing. It takes me a while, but we'll see. Anyway, let's start the party. I can't wait to hear this. Chapter 3, we're finally getting it. The Underworld. We'll start here. I'm going to go ahead and pull the track up. And if you're not familiar, as I said, with my work, I do try and accommodate listener taste to the best extent that I can and give complete coverage, not only to respect to the artist, but to the viewer as well. So if you'd like to read along with the lyrics of the piece, which I will have provided for myself as well, I will have those in the video feed. And as we navigate for the song, the lyrics will proceed in time. So, and you'll be able to see them for yourself if you want to. If not, just enjoy the piece. Have the experience with me, in any way you wish to. But let's entertain it together. I can't wait to hear more. We're starting the journey here with the Underworld. I'm sure this will be good. Nice. Love the menace. Good entry riffs right on the front. It's so fast paced. I love it. Great energy. Yay. Love it. Told you. Melissa Bond is a special talent. You've never heard her before. Is that a tambourine use? I like it if that is. Maybe it's just a cymbal, but... yeah. I think it is. It's a nice integration. Oh, beautiful. Love that raised inflection. And the blending, too, with the screaming and vocal work on Melissa's part. Love it. Great entrance riff, too, on that. I love the isolation. This is such a classic metal energy. Oh. That's creative. Oh, another breakdown, okay. The high electronic sound effect in the background, again, it gives it that grand presentation that is certainly satisfactory to the symphonic metal attribution, which I love. Yeah, just go for it. I'm loving this. Yeah, wonderful. Here goes our drive. I like those pods though. Gradual incline. I love it. Nice transference, wonderful. Great finish. What a wonderful entrance point, too. I mean, again, typically, I'm sure many of you are like, well, I just started Eternal Reigns. Again, I'm covering this a night early. In large part, to be able to get these out faster. And just because I'm like, you know what? I want to hear it, quite frankly. I don't want to resist the temptation. Like, just listen to it now. I want to listen to it with you. And man, that piece is a great entrance. Quite beautiful. I mean, again, like I said, in many times past, I do carry a broad range, and I keep an open door in terms of being a metalhead. There are specified facets of that genre that, people have different preferences on what they might like. Some people might prefer a bit of a softer energy with that metal atmosphere, or they might like the type of headbangy thrash stuff. I am definitely a case of the latest of those. So this piece fits so well with me. It is so classic metal emphasis with some beautiful device integration. I think that was a tambourine. It's so subtle, but wonderful for the pacing, just emboldens the percussion quite nicely. And those riffs are deep, they're guttural, forceful, and I love the energy of it. Pacing, wonderful. The vocal integration on part of Melissa Bonney, I told you, for those of you who aren't exposed, she's just exquisite. And as I've said many times, I do carry a very special place in my heart for women in the metal scene who have such forceful vocals, aka the screaming, the growl. Melissa Bonney is just so exquisite in that. And I've heard, that applied other places. I know people have spoken in the past to other groups she's been in connection to, and I forget some of the names at the moment. But very recently, and I plan to be debuting these videos after, for those of you who have inquired on the name, I started covering them yesterday. I'll finish them out. If I have some time, I'll do it tonight, because I really want to hear the last two pieces. But The Dark Side of the Moon, she's done the same there. Yes, I've started covering them, and they are just as good. A collaborative effort between her partner, in fact, from Amaranth, the drummer there, I forget his name, and two of the members of Feuerschwangs. Exquisite work on their part. If you've not heard some of those pieces, they're wonderful. Really are. Anything that Melissa Bonney's touched, at least in my opinion, thus far of what I've consulted is. And I've still got some work of hers in terms of other collaborative artists. Some of her work with Feuerschwangs, Warkeens has been a never name, Camelot. I've already acquired most of the tracks. I haven't bought the last album yet. Camelot is coming. I can't wait for that either. But Ad Infinitum, I love the European metal scene. It's so beautiful. And the Underworld absolutely is. I mean, it certainly fits too in lyrical vision with the Egyptian emphasis, though again, I forget my Egyptian history. It's been so many years, and I know this is going for more of like a Cleopatra specific story from what I've heard. And sometimes it's hard, in terms of giving first coverage, because again, I try and default to what I remember, but it was so many moons ago that I just kind of see this fanciful historical vision played out and very good scripting on the lyrics, and very creatively worded too. I mean, again, it fits very well with the Egyptian scene. So you pray for the very first time, but no one is listening. This is your last sundown. Again, I'm trusting that's sort of married into the story where this album is going and the conceptual vision, which, I love conceptual music, generally speaking. I do find that Ad Infinitum going into the historical perspective in part as a baseline is really interesting. It's not something I've seen replicated other places. More of the conceptual artists I consult have particular modern and contemporary sympathies if they choose to have an integration between real world and their music. And there is that inspiration in large part from the groups that I regularly listen to. Ad Infinitum has a bit of an individual presence in that space, as they do really in just my listening experience, because they are just so exquisite and original in their own respects. Very competent rock group, or rock and metal. Love listening to them. The Underworld, no exception. I mean, it really is just an exquisite piece. The energy on that, and again, the the vocal overlap with Melissa Bonney on those screams and the melodic side to it, just beautiful. Wonderful pairing, especially on I think it was the chorus verses specifically, where she comes back in with There's No Way Home. And the transitions, too. Really satisfactory on this song. Just a wonderful piece to listen to. I like it. I really do. I love the envisioning of the piece. I mean, again, it has an ominous presence I'm imagining, as I said, fits into that Egyptian lore. I'm a bit poetic myself. As I said before, I'm an English major, so writing is something I look to specifically on most occasions as a first glance on music I consult, just to understand it in vision. And I haven't consulted these pieces going in terms of lyrics in depth going forward, so I'm taking that fresh experience of you as well, and just reading each line as we navigate, in connection to the song. I really liked the illustration here. Again, and paired with the music, it was just a wonderful experience. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. For those of you, again, I'm sure many of you longtime Infinitors will make your thoughts known on the piece, as well as, the experience we're having together down below. You'll make those clear. And I'd love to hear from those of you who perhaps are consulting Ad Infinitum as a first introduction. What are your thoughts? As I said, I cannot recommend them enough. Go consult their work in the past, whether it be in some of the other tracks I've covered previously from Ad Infinitum as single releases or some of their past albums. And if you'd like, continue the journey with me. We're going to be here for a little bit with Chapter 3, because there's 7 more songs in total. 6 more probably for tonight, and then I'll do the last one in the morning. But in total, what you're going to be seeing at the time of release around this is 7 more to go. And I can't wait to continue the journey. Wonderful piece. Looking forward to hearing more. And that will be with the next piece. Let me see the order of tracks here. And by the way, that one's coming off of Somewhere Better. That really kicked up the pacing. I really like that. Next is Ravenous. I like this direction. It's got such dark energy. Ooh, I can't wait to hear it. But again, like I said, if you wish, you can continue that journey with me as we continue through Chapter 3, which I'm sure, generally speaking, will be an absolute treat, just on presumption. Again, I speak on faith and familiarity. Ad Infinitum is just exquisite. I love them in the symphonic metal scene, and they're a wonderful group to carry on my playlist. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you bounce, feel free to drop a like and comment, subscribe to this channel with a ding on the bell, and share this video with your friends. And consider checking out the description here. There you'll find links to my other channels, as well as addresses to my other social media accounts and ways you can help support my work if you feel so inclined. May God bless you, and looking forward to when our paths cross again.